Hi, I'm here at Africa Energy Week, and I've just presented a technical presentation on Africa's deep water opportunities and the challenges and strategies in this evolving landscape. Some of the key takeaways were looking at global exploration trends and how the explorers have really been pushing into ultra-deep and ultra-deep waters more and more over the years. We look at how global trends compare to trends in Africa, and that Africa is generally aligned with global trends, but there's been periods where these trends have diverged, and that's when new deep water basins have really opened up in Africa. It's interesting to note that a third of what is considered to be global offshore deep water prospective basin area is actually in the African continent. This is indicative in the fact that 25% or a quarter of all high impact wells are in African deep water basins. Significant oil and gas finds have been made. And if you look at total resources discovered over the past 10 years globally, there are 5 basins in Africa that fall within the top 20 basins. My talk really looked at pushing the limits of deep water exploration and development. It also looked at the plays that are being targeted. So we see an evolution from more tertiary plays to more Cretaceous plays, and specifically Cretaceous turbidite fan plays. We also see a plateau of technical success around the 3,000 meter watermark. And we look at what the geological risks are and the challenges at these water depths, and new wells that are being planned to test the limits of these waters. Vast oil and gas resources have been discovered in ultra-deep waters, but it's interesting to note as well that 80% of these resources still remain unmonetized. We were looking at solutions and the challenges of tapping into these resources and getting them to move from discovery and appraisal status to development and production. Looking at the African region globally, we see that Africa is actually leading in upstream deep water project sanctions from now until 2028. And we're going to see a real ramp up in capital expenditure in deep waters offshore Africa towards the 2028-2030 mark. Africa also hosts the world's deepest water FLNG development. And if Venus Discovery offshore Namibia in the Orange Basin is sanctioned and developed, it will be the world's deepest water offshore development. So what's next for Africa's ultra-deep water? We also looked at the producer landscape now and looking into the 2030s. And we looked at which basins are going to be leading production, that being the Niger Delta and the Congo Fan, but also see new basins coming in like the Orange and the Kwanza. Côte d'Ivoire basin's also set to ramp up activity. We also see more gas coming into the production mix. So while there are challenges for ultra-deep waters offshore Africa, there's also significant opportunities.